Guys, welcome back to the Match App. Oh, I like that. Welcome back to the Match App podcast with myself, Paul Ciotto, Frank Ciotto, Christopher Shea, producer extraordinaire Peter Oberg, and a very, 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 very special guest today.
The Big O.
The Big O. Multiple finalist, winner of the prestigious
ADCC.
And for all you people that don't know what that is, that basically means if you win that, you are the big dog in the grappling world.
It.
Period.
That's
That's what it comes down
Period,
to.
exclamation point.
And that's that.
So there's nothing you can do about it.
Exactly. So it's a blessing that he's here today. We happen to have one of a student in the academy who happens to be Orlando's very good pal.
Man, did we get lucky.
We got lucky. And when he found that, and we found he was coming into town, we asked him to be on the podcast, and he graciously accepted.
Absolutely.
So we're going to talk everything Orlando Sanchez, business, jiu-jitsu, tomfoolery, tiddlywinks, and everything else involved. So talk to us about your journey. Tell us about how it started and why.
Man, we could be here for fucking days. God, my journey is something that I have found a lot of. It helps. It's very inspirational to many, I think, and for me, it's just daily life. It's my hustle, it's my grind. But take me back to I was a child. I've always been competitive. To me, competition was it. I mean, there was nothing in life like fucking. I would race my brother to the water fountain, to the bathroom.
I love that shit.
Had to brush my teeth faster than him. Or, that's always been in me. Since I can remember. So I was always into sports, and I realized really young that if I did good in sports, I would get loved more. My family would pay attention to me more, and
peers
as a child, growing up as a young, innocent, vulnerable child, you're like, wow, I do good in sports. People like me, or I'm accepted as a human being.
Sure.
A lot of fucking crazy shit. I've been in therapy for 10 years and my own shit. I get real deep into my life, but starting to do that. So I was very highly competitive, and I always excelled in sports or everything I did. I always wanted to be the best. Everything that I wanted to do, I had to be the best. Or if my older brother, who's 4 years older than me, if he was doing something, I had to do it better than him. And
It's a good drive, though.
It's
yeah,
good.
Absolutely.
There was a story.
Civil rivalry is excellent.
There's a story my mom always told was, I was like 4 years old or something, and she found me in the backyard with my bicycle, and I had training wheels on it, and I was with like a hammer or a tool or something, and I was trying to break off the training wheels because I said, fuck, I don't need training wheels. Like, they don't have training wheels. I don't want training wheels, So that was just like my attitude ever since as far back as I can remember. I don't ever remember not being thriving to be the best, So fast forward, went to college, played football.
Where'd you go to college?
I finished at Azusa Pacific University. We were an NAIA national champion actually when I was there.
Wow!
And then it went to NCAA after I left. But we had an amazing team. We did really well. And then it comes to the point in my life when I'm 21, 22, around that age, and
your competitive drive kicks in again, and you got nothing to do with it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Since my whole life was sports.
Yeah.
Here you are. This is a big issue with the military, with professional players, with everything. Is all of a sudden life comes to an end.
Yeah.
Like your life, you wake up, you eat, dream, sleep, fucking breathe something, and then the day it's over, nobody prepares you for that. So I got to I started transitioning to this weird place when I was in my early 20s that I was looking. You're not going to make it to the NFL, and all of a sudden you're like, holy shit. Wait a second, what am I going to do with my life?
Where's this energy going to go?
So wasted energy. So I'm like, okay, well, fuck. I'm good at doing drugs.
And they are fun. We don't recommend it, but they are fun.
So, here I am in college. I fucking, dude, when I found cocaine, it was like the greatest thing that have ever happened to my life, at the point, at that time.
And it helps being Cuban.
And
it's
in the DNA. It's in the DNA, exactly.
Like Rick James. Cocaine's a hell of a drug.
So here I am in my early 20s, and I find fucking, cocaine, and that was it for me. I went on a
It's a blur.
I went on a.
I don't do cocaine. I just enjoy the smell.
I literally went on a bender from, my early 20s all the way till 27, 28.
Wow.
28. Yeah.
And what made you turn it around?
Bender. So it was like, I'm talking bender to the point where near the end, I was like, I was going to die. I was doing about an ounce of cocaine a day.
Jesus.
That's like, translates to like $31,000 a month. Selling cocaine like crazy, just to keep up with the
your own habit. Yeah, of
so
course.
I'm like, it's just all a blur. Like it was literally a blur. Like sometimes I sit there and I think about my past, and I kind of like I don't even know if it was real or not. It's just fucking nuts.
So from where you were then to where you are now,
Exactly.
it's like whoa.
Exactly. So and it's funny because like there's few people in my life that saw me through that and are still my friends now, and they're just looking at me like, fuck man, you did it. Like
Good for you.
Good for you. Like
Fantastic.
So anyway, so those years was a disaster, a mess. And then I got fun,
but a disaster.
There was some fun times, dude. But
late nights.
But other times, other times, God, staring through a window for like 10 hours, fucking high as shit. And anybody who's done a lot of drugs knows what I'm talking about. Thinking that it was chaos. So I knew I had to change. I was 365 pounds.
Wow.
I was
on cocaine. Wow, that's impressive.
right?
That's impressive.
I was 365 pounds.
That is pretty
doing that much coke. Drinking literally like I would drink like a bottle of whiskey every night to try to go to sleep.
Of course, yeah.
Boom, and then wake up and start blowing lines and start it was just chaos. I was like a train, dude, just heading for the wreck. And then I remember one night I was laying there in my bed and I felt like I was dying. I was laying in my bed. I was laying on my back and there was a big mirror on the side of my bed and I was smoking a cigarette. I was a cool menthol laced with cocaine. And I don't smoke cigarettes, but here I am with a cool menthol smoking this laced in coke, and I'm sitting there and I'm like, fuck man, like I'm gonna die. This is it. I'm looking at myself and I'm like, what? There was just this chaos. And then I felt like there was like an elephant just standing on my chest. I was like, fuck. I was like, this is it. This is it. This is it. And then that night I was like, man, if I make it through the night, I'm gonna try to figure something out to get myself out of this.
And I got to assume during these 7-year stint or 6-year stint, you're not doing really any sports.
I'm fucking shooting massive amounts of steroids and lifting weights.
Oh, okay. So you're huge. That's where the 3-6. Okay, I'm like, because the cocaine.
It was just chaos. I was living in absolute chaos.
Yeah.
Anything I could put into myself, I was doing.
Okay, I understand.
So it was just like I was a walking fucking substance, and I remember laying there and I told myself, man, if I can get through this, I got to change something in my life,
Right.
man. And next morning I woke up and I remember putting this red sweatsuit on and I went down to the gym because I was always working in gyms and stuff. And I was at this gym, Pasadena, Gold Gym Pasadena, and I went and I spoke to my buddy Ricky Delgado and I said, Rick, man, I need help, bro. I knew he did Muay Thai and stuff and I knew he loved it. So I was like, man, you want to hold some mitts for me? I don't know. You want to teach me how to box? You want to do something? He goes, yeah, man, I'll help you out. Let's do it. So I never forget. He started getting me on some hand pads and I would throw a couple punches and I would die.
Gas for air.
So and then he's like, why don't you come with me to this Muay Thai school down the street from where we live? I'm like, cool, let's do it. So he took me down to this place called Sitya Tong in Pasadena. This guy, Walter McCloskey, became my lifelong friend. He's still one of my best friends. Love the guy. But he has a nice Muay Thai school and I started getting into Muay Thai and I was like, fuck, this is cool. So here I am in this weird transition phase where I'm like trying to get clean. Mm-hmm. And I don't know what therapy is. I don't know what help is. I'm just trying to do it all fucking, winging it on my own,
At that age, we just stuck things and put them behind our spleen.
That was it. That was it. Just keep on holding it and holding it. And then so I would go like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, not doing drugs. And then, trying to work out and be clean. And then like Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I was just bender, cocaine, blasting. And as an addict, that's how you start, justifying things as you start, I deserve it.
I took those couple days off.
I earned it, So I did that for a while and I started getting into jiu-jitsu and stuff. And then I started getting into Muay Thai. Started liking it. I remember my girlfriend at the time, now is my wife, she was real supportive. She was like, let's do this. I'm going to help you through it, blah, blah. And she always stood by my side, and she was always very supportive. So I remember paying for my membership at this Muay Thai school with my wife's like student loan money. We had nothing, and I stopped selling drugs and shit. So we were dead broke. We had nothing. So, anyways, fast forward a little bit. Did Muay Thai for about 6, 7, 8 months, almost a year, I would say, back in those days, and then one day a guy comes in to jiu-jitsu, and he was like a jiu-jitsu guy, MMA guy, and he's like, oh, let's grapple or whatever. I'm like, what the fuck does grapple mean? I don't know what this means.
Right.
And dude, I wrestled with him that night. I did some jiu-jitsu kind of stuff, and I got my ass kicked so fucking bad.
And you're a badass. You played football. That's right. You're on steroids,
drugs, And this guy fucked me up so bad. And I remember I was like, dude, that fucking day, I got my ass kicked. That day, I was like,
you made a commitment.
I was like, this is it. This is it.
Right.
This is what I want to do. This is fucking what I want to do. I felt that high again. I felt that rush. I felt that rush. My brain was satisfied. I was on, baby. I was like, let's do this. And I was like, I came home. I remember telling my wife and my girlfriend, I was like, Trisha, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to do jiu-jitsu. I'm going to dedicate my life to jiu-jitsu. I was 26, 27 years old, dude. Nobody starts that late,
I get it.
And I was like, I'm doing it. So here I am, like, put me in the tournament. And then from there on out, I got my black belt in just under 4 years. I kicked the drugs. There's so much that happened in that time, and
so many positives, and it all stemmed through getting into jiu-jitsu.
I went down to like, at that time when I was really focused, I had stopped all the madness, all the fucking steroids, drugs. I just quit it all, and I got myself down to a healthy, I was like, at blue belt, in my beginning blue belt, I was like 215, I think.
Right.
Whoa, that's a lot. You lost a person.
It was crazy.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
That is a person.
And then I started, just getting involved in hustling and teaching, and then I just loved it, man. And I got engulfed by the whole jiu-jitsu world. In the jiu-jitsu world, this is only 10 years ago, and it's changed a lot in 10 years. Jiu-jitsu has changed so much in 10 years. But back then I remember the guy that I was with, he told me, he goes, Orlando, if you can get a few people to pay for some jiu-jitsu classes, we'll open a school here in Pasadena where I was. And I'm like, fuck. I was like a white belt, dude. I had no idea what I was doing. I was like, I'm going to do it. For sure, I got it. And sure enough, I got a few people to start paying for classes and, using a little karate studio space. And then, boom, ended up opening a school with this guy. And then we later separated, but that's where my first school came from. And we started that school, which is now Gracie Ball, Pasadena, with over 400 students. And now that's one of 6 schools I own, 4 in the Los Angeles area. And it's just turned into a fucking, I'm here sitting today sober, married, 10 years married, with 3 kids, 6 schools.
How old are your kids?
7, 4, and 1. They are
busy. You are busy in the house also.
I'm telling you,
like Instagram, bro. It's not
people don't understand. Like, I'm an addict, and I'm wired as so, and I will be wired as so for the rest of my life.
But your addictions now are good.
So what I've learned with therapy and stuff is I have done. This is who I am. I'm going to be like this. I'm going to be an addict until the day I die. 100%. What I choose to do with my wiring and my addictions is my choice, right? So now I've chosen not to do drugs. I've chosen not to, drink. I've chosen not to do all these things. But what I've replaced that with is my family, the love of my wife, the love of my kids, and
your new drug,
and my
jiu-jitsu.
Jiu-jitsu, yeah, for sure. And for me, it's jiu-jitsu and business, and my whole makeup every day when I wake up and to the time I go to sleep is my dream is to leave generational wealth and have my great grandkids have a picture of me on their wall and say, man,
this is the guy who
set the tone.
Set the tone for my family, and we're worth fucking billions of dollars because of this fucking man right here. And that's my new obsession.
That's
you
a
know,
great
that's
obsession.
my addiction
Heck
now.
yeah.
My addiction now is to be
Are
that
you
top
adopting?
1%.
Because I'm looking to switch
Frank
families.
looks like one of his
Switching families.
Frank looks like one of his Daddy? Now, who did you get your black belt under?
So I got my black belt from Hamlo Bahal.
Okay.
Yeah,
Say that
Hamlo
3
Bahal.
times fast.
Yeah, Hamlo Bahal, who's obviously, I mean, those in the jiu-jitsu world know he's the best in the world. To me, there's no one better. He's absolute better. He's like, what, 20-time world champion, ADCC champion. You know, he's the man. He owns Gracie Ball in Northridge. He's opening another Gracie Ball down there in Tarzana with a good friend of ours, Edwin Najmi, who we all know. But yeah, he gave me my black belt, and he just gave me my second stripe 3 weeks ago, I think.
So your secondary black belt.
Congratulations.
Second black belt, yeah. And I've been with him since white belt, you know? So
that's
it's been
awesome.
fun.
You got lucky.
It's been crazy,
Yeah,
man. It's
yeah.
been crazy. There was another guy that was with us who we ended up having a falling out, and you know, he went his own way, no hard feelings and stuff. But me and Hamlo were both with him, and then Hamlo was, you know, took me under his wing back then.
Sure.
And then I just kind of ventured,
Flourished that way.
flourished
Yeah.
with Hamlo during the time.
So talk to us about how you got to ADCC. I mean, that's...
Man, so again, my whole crazy fucking, you know, brain, I remember, you know, I started fighting MMA, and I'm 5-0 in MMA, undefeated in MMA, and you know, I started so late, so I had to make decisions of, am I going to go fight in the UFC, which I could have, or Bellator, which I still can, all these things that I still can, but get paid $10,000, you know, to go fucking.
I get it.
You know what I'm saying? I'm like,
get your
dude,
ass right.
yeah, hold on a second. You know what I mean? I've done that. I've proven. I've trained with the best. I've beaten the best. I've fought day in and day out with the best guys in the world.
Well, let's be honest, this looks kind of nice right
Yeah.
here. You start getting out of here and they start saying,
You know, so I was you know, training. I was training the main training partner for Fabricio Verdum when we went and took the belt from
wow.
Kane. You know, back in what 3-4 years ago.
Yeah.
So me and him were training daily together. He was like my brother back then. We were training daily, and so you know I was at that level. I was in the octagon that night where he fucking choked Kane out in Mexico, and I was his main training partner. We trained every single day back then. So I got to get to that level and feel
and
it,
see what it's
know
like,
see what it's
yeah.
like, and know that I belong there. But it just
not for
it
you.
comes to a decision where. Am I going to start down here and spend 6 years of my life fighting for $10,000 at a time? Absolutely not. You know, so I had a great time, but in that time, training a lot of MMA, you know, as when I first started, when I was a white belt, blue belt in jiu-jitsu, I remember watching clips of the ADCC, and I was like, fuck, I'm going to do that shit one day. I'm going to win that shit one day. And everyone's
that's
like,
the
yeah,
UFC
whatever.
of BJJ.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So I was like, yeah, man. I was like, easy. So as I got closer to black, I was like, all right, well, I'm gonna try. Never train no gi, never wrestled, nothing. I was like, I'm gonna do the ADCC shit, right? So then I remember in right when I got my black belt, my buddy Luca Atala, who was the owner of Gracie Mag, this guy Luca, he good friends with the guy from ADCC, the guy who runs it, Guy Neves. He called me and said, Orlando, I'm gonna put you on the ADCC. Do you want to do it? We need a representative, you know. And I was like, and he goes, I know how good you are. I know you could win this. And this was my first year. I've done it now 3 times. So this was my first year. I got it on short notice. It was 2000, I believe, 13. I just got my black belt, and I'm like, sure, I'll do it. You know, so boom, they put me on a flight to Bangkok, China. You know, no, I'm sorry, Bangkok,
Thailand.
Beijing, China. So I'm like, yeah, I'll do it. I was training MMA at the time, and I was like, yeah, like, you know, I was always with Fabricio Verdum. I was putting it on him in class and in training, and I knew I was at the best level. You know, he had won it before a couple times, and I was like, I can do this. So he helped me. He, you know, explained to me. We trained together for a while. He was a real big help in that 2013 era. And then I was like, cool, boom. I go to Beijing, no clue what I'm getting myself into. You know, I'm a fresh black belt, and never trained no gi, never trained anything. And I go out there and I have a fucking awesome tournament. I ended up fighting Cyborg, which is the year he won, and I fought Cyborg. It was a bullshit fight. It was 0-0. They ended up giving him the decision, but it was like my first time out on the big stage.
You took a silver.
No, this was the quarterfinals, semifinals, I think. So we ended up fighting into overtime, like 25 minutes or something. And it was just a war. And you know, he's a veteran. He couldn't do nothing. Like we were just, boom, just banging. We had a great fight, blood and shit. It was zero.
Bulls.
It was 0-0. You know, after 25 minutes, and he was super experienced. He's already been multiple-time world champion.
Right.
This was my first.
And here you are hanging with a
and
badass.
I was like, and I had no idea.
dance.
I had no idea what I was doing, dude.
Right.
Honestly, I had no idea. So it was an awesome fight, a great fight. There was a couple times you watched the video. I know I scored 2 points, but I didn't get them. I was like, fuck, you know. But it was a weird trip in general. It's just Beijing is the weirdest place. Anyways, we had an awesome time, and then no clue what I was doing, no clue how the tournament was, like just no clue. I was just like.
You just had your mind.
Headlights,
Yeah.
And so we had a great time, and I made a statement, made a name for myself. And that night, I told my brother in the hotel room. I told my brother because my brother always travels me. I'm like, bro, I fucking swear to you, I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna win this shit next time. I told everybody there. A guy, Cooper, this guy's filmed me and shit. And I was like, I'm gonna come back, and I promise you, I'm gonna win. So here we go again. I was building my businesses, working out, blah, 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 not really taking anything serious. And then we got to like that 6 month mark of 6 months away from the next one in Sao Paulo, Brazil. ADCC in Sao Paulo, Brazil, the big dance.
That was 2015.
2015, I was like, fuck, this is it. Now, I never get ready for anything in my life. And I'm like, I'm going to get ready for this shit. Right? So boom, I started running, I started doing all my shit. And sure enough, obviously get the invite. And show up to the tournament. We got everybody there. We got Dean Lister, Vinny McLeod.
Yeah.
We got all the big dogs,
stars.
right? And fuck, boom. First day comes out. Look at my side, and they put me through everybody. Like I had to fucking fight every returning champion in my weight division. You know what I'm saying? All the way to the finals. So I was lucky enough to beat guys like Vinny McLeod, like Dean Lister, like these guys. So fought all these guys. Came out there, fought all these guys, and fucking ended up in the finals against Jared Dopp. In the night before the finals, I sat there, and I'm a big believer in manifesting, visualization and manifestation. So I was sitting there at the fucking steakhouse, and I'm with my brother and stuff. And I told my brother, I said, Mondo, my brother's my biggest fan, biggest supporter. I said, bro, I'm gonna do a fucking suplex. And I'm going to have a picture of that shit, and it's going to be fucking famous poster. Sure enough, I made it to the finals. I did out the suplex. I got a poster, and I have it hanging in all of my gyms.
Awesome.
It's this famous poster of me suplexing Jared Dopp.
And you visualized it before,
visualized
which
the
is
whole
the key.
thing. And I have everybody witness me. My brother, everybody witnessed that I said exactly what I was going to do, and I fucking did it. And I have a really good track record of doing that, Said I was going to be the best, all this shit. So
You wrote the check with your mouth and your ass cashed it.
So now, so got there, and now I sit here in front of you today, and I've done everything that I've needed to do in the jiu-jitsu world, the sports world and stuff, and now my focus has turned, and now the next goal is I will become a billionaire. I will be on the cover of Forbes magazine, and that will happen.
A couple kids.
That will, that is going to happen with before I turn 4 years old. So.
I like to note I don't want adoption. I like working.
I don't want to work. I want to be adopted. And I just want to be.
He wants to show his work.
He can do that. I'll just be a trust fund baby.
Yeah, exactly. So my focus. A lot of people don't realize this, and I really don't speak about it publicly a lot. But my whole focus has changed to. I'm obsessed with big business, with public company, Wall Street world. Mega billion-dollar companies. That has been my focus now for the past few years, and now I sit here. I'm actually involved in a big deal that's happening that I've created, and I have a team together, and I can't go into it too much, but it all works out.
And BJJ is a hobby now.
Yeah. So hopefully soon.
Yeah.
Jiu-jitsu at all 5 of my schools will be a hobby.
Well, it's definitely one of the reasons.
All 5 of my schools will be a hobby.
It's
a nice hobby.
6 of my schools.
It's one of the reasons why I told him to have mine, because if there's someone who's been able to transition jiu-jitsu into a business and onto other aspects, I follow you on Instagram, and it's just cool. It's a cool story. Especially.
I think this is more mindset, though. This is about somebody who didn't come from whatever and then went even worse, and now look at you. So this is about having that winning. Yeah,
it's that champion attitude, bro. It's never accepting.
You won't be denied.
No, I just won't, man. I get it.
Like
we're all like, to me, when I look at something, you know, and there's billionaires over here, right? And there's people who are poor, whatever. But there is nothing in the world to stop you from achieving what these guys have done.
Just you.
Right? Just you and your thought
Your
process.
thought
Your thought
process,
process,
exactly.
right? Wait a minute. So if I wanted to be a billionaire, I have to do this. Why not you go do it? And that's exactly where I'm at now. And I'm literally a few steps away from achieving that status. So you guys will see soon. I'll be smiling on the cover of Forbes like this with a jiu-jitsu gi on.
That'll be awesome.
What I
That
think
would
the
be
most
awesome.
intriguing part about it and hearing your story, for me, is the wiring.
Ah.
It's like that wiring. Unfortunately, at the beginning,
It's a fuck wiring.
It's a fuck wiring. Because I have that wiring.
Yeah, and
Right,
I
yeah.
look at my kid, and this is the crazy part is I look at my son who's 7 fucking years old,
Right.
who doesn't know anything. He doesn't know any bad. He doesn't know any. The kid's life is about fucking iPads and love and hugging and sleep, cuddling, but he's wired like me, and I see it in him at 7 years old. So me as a father, I know that I have
Guide him
to
properly.
be careful
Yes.
how I raise my son and make sure he knows who he is and know how he's wired. My son who's 1 year old is wired like me. I know it because of the way he reacts to his mother, reacts to me. It's fucking fascinating.
Yeah, dude,
it's
listen,
fascinating to me.
Two of them are wired like
You
that.
know?
Because not all.
Yeah,
I trust
you know,
me.
it's-
Your kids are all
it's-
different.
They're going to
wired.
follow your example,
It's
for
crazy.
sure.
So that's where I'm at today. Is I'm a huge believer in being open and vulnerable and speak about emotions and let men be men. And we live in this world where men are not allowed to have
Bullshit.
feelings or be emotional or vulnerable. It's all bullshit. Like we have to be this tough. Like no, man. Like I cry weekly. I fucking have emotions. I teach my kids about it. I talk to my kids about feelings. I do all this because hiding that is what got me on cocaine and drugs in the first place. Because I did not know where to place my emotions and my feelings. So what did I do? I didn't know anything. My brain is fucking wired. Yeah. I'm crazy.
You're so hardwired.
So I just started boom. And so I just didn't want to feel or think anymore. So I just go off on this venture. But if now my son is 7 years old and he's able to cry in my arms. He's able to tell me when he's feeling sad. I mean, these are things that are huge for me. These are victories for me that you can't put a price tag on. So.
Well, I like the fact
Crazy.
that the wiring, as you've also looked at it, you also acknowledge the fact that wiring can be bad as well.
Very bad.
And that's a big part of it. People have personalities like that. But you took the wiring where it was like, college athlete, hit a bump, took the wiring,
Literally.
went the and went and sorry, but you know what I mean. And look, here you are now. You realize, okay, here's I'm going to ride that lightning bolt the right way.
Yeah.
And it's
funny.
It's a talent.
And it's funny.
Else,
and it's funny because I'll be at like the grocery store or something now, and somebody will be like, "Oh, what are you doing up here?" And I say, "Well, I'm going to become a billionaire." I said, "I'm up here because I'm doing some business to become a billionaire." And I'm dead fucking serious. They're like,
yeah, me too.
Everybody laughs at me, and I love it because I was telling my buddy who was with me, and I just kept telling him, like, how fascinating is this? Because that's the mindset that society tells you have to be like.
Right.
You have to fucking laugh at saying that it's not laughable. This is something that I'm really like going for. This is my dream. This is my next goal, and I'm going to achieve it. So I mean, it's just a switch in wiring, that it's huge, man. The brain is amazing. The brain is so amazing, man. So amazing. So brings us today. You can do anything you fucking set your mind to. Anything.
Love it.
Anything.
Love it.
That's like our mantra.
Motto
there.
here, man.
That's it. That's it.
Nose to the grindstone. Well, guys, man, I want to thank you again.
Yeah.
That was great. Thank you so
My
much.
pleasure, man. My
That was
pleasure
a
meeting you guys.
great story, and
Awesome.
I fanboyed out.
Awesome
Hopefully
to have you guys
you're gonna be
here.
here tomorrow.
I'm gonna try to be here. I'm gonna try to be here.
Good.
Yep. I'm gonna try to be here.
I want to get smashed tomorrow. But again, thank you again. And we hope when you're back in the area, you'll come back on.
Of course.
Please.
And you'll be at the next phase. We'd love to hear about it.
Yeah.
You bring
Bring the
out-
Forbes out.
Yeah.
I'm gonna bring you signed Forbes.
That's what I'm saying. Absolutely.
Exactly. Guys, the Match Chat Podcast. Paul Seattle, Frank Seattle, Christopher Shea, Peter Oberg, and Orlando Sanchez.
Thank you.
We'll see you next time.